Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Dota fans from all over the world. We're ESL One Katowice. It's the upper bracket, and it is going to be Fnatic versus Gambit in game number 3. You got beautiful shots of Poland, looking cold, looking brisk, looking dark outside, but the Dota is light and beautiful, and we got some wonderful people to bring you all the calls, all the action. It is going to be Base Kip Lacoste, myself, Lyrical. We are going to guide you through this wonderful action that we got going. And folks, my goodness, that last game was pretty nuts. Gambit owned.
It's cool to see them kind of run back the same strategy again and just do everything a little bit better and show us the Gambit that we were kind of expecting.
Yeah.
Gambit is the team that likes to snowball. They win their lanes, and with this Ursa pickup, they just love this hero. It opens up the Rosh. Rosh #1 is not that important, but the second Rosh with Cheese and Aegis, this is where they close out the games.
And you know, the first one was really not important because Abed took it away from them. After a little bit of kerfuffle with the pauses, but regardless, Gambit was able to sort of pull through there and still control the map in spite of not having that first Aegis.
Man, I'm talking about Gambit, and I say they close out games in 30 minutes. I just checked the timing. 30 minutes, 22 seconds in the second game. Unbelievable.
That's what happens, man. You just know it. It's because that's like been their style for probably the last 2-3 months, it feels like. They've pretty consistently been able to make this work. Previously, it was with the Visage, with the Shadow Fiend, with the Greaves build. They haven't gone to that as much this tournament. It's tended to just be off the back of the Dahak Ursa that they get it done. So, I don't know. We'll see if that gets banned out. Do you guys think it's worth banning the Ursa early?
Why not? If they plan
force
to
him to
first
play
pick
something else.
Lifestealer, it is, for sure.
I mean, the other hero that we've got to talk about is Shadow Shaman. It's won both of the games. Whoever has it, they win.
Yep. So I guess we have we have another coin flip for this game. Is that it's probably the rule set?
Oh yeah, that is what's going on right now. So the coin flip is happening.
So that's actually going to be quite important.
The admin says heads or tails, and both Jabs and FNG call it immediately. But Jabs called heads and FNG called tails.
Well, that's
so
fortunate.
That works out.
Well, FNG gets it.
Tails never fails.
But
easy.
I don't know. Does the flip actually matter? Because when Fnatic had priority, they took Radiant.
Yeah.
And Gambit took second pick. And then Gambit got priority. They took second pick. Fnatic took Radiant. So
it's the same thing here.
The flip is actually irrelevant.
If somebody wanted to change something up, though,
that's true. If you wanted to have the initiative to do something,
and the team that might have wanted that to happen would have been Fnatic since they lost the last game.
True.
I don't know if like you completely redefine your ideas of how you play Dota based upon that last loss, though. I don't think so. I think you just keep running with what worked before and maybe ban out the Shadow Shaman or just take it first overall.
I think you can continue banning the CK maybe, but maybe you let one of the other two heroes through, like the Chen or the Coddle. No, for Fnatic.
Right, yeah.
I think Gambit are probably still going to go for roughly the same bans.
Okay.
I don't think they just want. I don't think there's any reason to change things up too much, but I think Fnatic might consider remixing their bans a little bit because they weren't banning the Chen against NIP, or at least not in the first phase. So maybe they can mix something up a little bit here.
Lots and lots of questions, but we do have a draft, so we can hop in and find some of the answers now. It's game number 3 about to get underway. Gambit facing off against Fnatic. Let's hop into it right now. And man, Lacoste, you were trying to say something right before I cut you off.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm pretty old right now. I can't remember. No, I feel like they should ban out this Ursa. The bans are going so quickly. Same bans again.
Okay.
Oh, nope.
All right, not anymore.
Banned. Okay.
We're going to hop into the draft.
So Coddle's still there.
Interesting. I don't know if Coddle feels OP.
No, I don't think he does.
Like, I feel like you can let that through.
Especially because we haven't seen any like crazy synergies or anything. All right, Fnatic. Take your Shadow Shaman.
Yeah,
there it is.
That's way better. Even if they...
Do you see how fast they picked that? They were like, they had their fingers hovered over it. They're pressing the button.
Even if they go for, let's say, a Lifestealer, they can respond with Ursa themselves. I feel like Gambit just loves to play this hero way too much not to have it.
10 seconds remaining.
I am curious to see what their supports are going to end up being if they actually take the Keeper I think they're taking the Ursa.
Yeah.
Just because it does kind of shut down against the Lifestealer pick, potentially. But this draft could go in a very different direction, or it could be pretty much exactly the same.
That is one of the things, though, is that oftentimes we've talked about this Ursa being one of the answers for like the Jug or the Lifestealer, a way to kill him. And you could just not take it for Fnatic if you wanted.
That's true. But I think Gambit is still good with the Ursa, even if it's not against the...
Oh, they let it
Forgot
through.
about the Visage. He was banned out in second phase. This time it's a different story for Gambit.
Okay.
Oh, this is a lineup that's gonna finish before 30 minutes.
This is totally their... well, previous to the sub patch, this would have been 100% their comfort. I think they've shied away from the Visage a little bit because of some of the nerfs, but we saw them play it probably once or twice in this event, and it still looked pretty good. And it's not just all about the birds necessarily. They've been like the one game that we watched, they were tri-laning with it.
Oh yeah, this if they decide to tri-lane with the Visage Undying, this is a good response. To stay away from Lifestealer, he needs way too much time to come online. The game might be over considering that they got the Visage and Undying. With Medusa, she can be tanky enough. She's a great deep pusher.
Pretty good against both of these heroes.
Yeah.
Just deal with, fairly good at dealing with the Tombstone.
Is a fairly mobile hero, though.
Yeah.
Seconds remaining.
Is there any way to really punish this pick? Like, it did get a little bit of nerf. Now you have the extra mana at the 25 talent instead. Her Mystic Stink is still insane with that level 15 talent.
The problem for Gambit is that their team fight is fairly immobile as well. Once Visage is committed into the middle of a fight, it's fairly difficult for him to disengage. And once they put down the Tombstone, they also want to fight in that area. So this is a situation where I don't think it's actually that bad that the Medusa just wants to go full turret mode. That might be the situation that we find in these fights where like it's the Serpent Wards and the Medusa on one side, the Undying Tombstone and the Visage on the other, and everybody's just throwing hands. Yeah.
Gambit opened up with Nyx Assassin on the first and second day, couple of drafts, and it's not necessarily the greatest hero against Medusa because this hero needs levels, and he's leveling up really slowly, so you tend to prioritize other spells instead of getting a mana burn, but there it is.
So even with those two heroes banned, there's still like a Phantom Lancer, an Anti-Mage. There's lots of your traditional Medusa counters still left.
I think
in the pool.
Anti-Mage is no longer a Medusa counter fully, though.
I don't like Anti-Mage against Medusa. I'd prefer to have a Phantom Lancer.
Yeah.
Dire team pick.
They take out the Timber Saw,
Turn to pick.
and it's going to be an Earth Spirit. Played for Immersion this time, most likely.
Dire team pick.
So Fnatic more deep push, more team fight. The Lich is a little bit of a weird pick.
It's good.
This is Gambit. Oh, man, through and through.
You know exactly what the draft is going to be. It's just
Yeah.
about whether or not you can stop it, basically. Can they pick something that just crushes the Shadow Fiends on mid?
Not anymore. I think that their supports are not that good at rotating. Shadow Shaman is slow, even with the boots of speed. They picked Earth Spirit, which is one of the best heroes against Shadow Fiend.
Yeah. Do you think Fnatic will just end up putting the Medusa mid, or?
Yeah, it feels like it.
Dire
Yeah.
team back.
They're going to take the Weaver for
Alright.
Fnatic. I don't know if I like this draft from Fnatic. It's got a lot of problems. They do have some, like, you know, pretty good defense for high ground as far as Frost Shield and trying to spam out waves. But I don't know if they can fight into Gambit. Gambit feel like they're just going to be this indomitable force just walking at them.
I liked it a lot up until the Weaver, but I think they needed a little bit more lockdown in that spot. I get the idea. There's not a ton of lockdown for Weaver. It can get up in Visage's face fairly easy, lots of damage instances. And there's some really good synergy with Medusa because of both the Swarm with the minus armor, and then later on, the number one thing that you want with Medusa is just ways to buff her and ways to save her. And Aghanim Scepter on Weaver with Medusa is crazy. But if they get to that point, I feel like Fnatic would have won the game anyway, if we're looking at like 30, 40 minutes into the game.
That's a good point. It's really about dealing with that first initial push that comes out from Gambit.
Yeah.
And does that have to be around the first Aegis, or can you sort of wait for the second one, Aegis and Cheese?
They can go a little bit later. This isn't a lineup that has to win in 15 minutes necessarily. Like, Gambit do have some scaling. Their heroes can build up with items.
They're gonna need some kind of a
5 seconds
stun
remaining.
silence control for this Weaver because they have none. Or if they just group up as 5, they might not even need to. Depends how good of the early game they're gonna have and if they can snowball.
Night Stalker and Doom banned out, both of the offlaners from the previous game. Fnatic are going to have first crack at it here.
10
The
seconds
Brewmaster did look really good for them in the first game, but it's banned out second phase here.
SSIce is getting really, really banned out this game. And I don't know what they pick that still has like the catch/team fight that they would want. Unless they can like offlane the Weaver and what can they pick, like what, offlane the Weaver and pick like an Ember maybe? Doesn't sound great.
It's like Beastmaster would have been one of the other ones, but I don't know if I love it here.
No,
I feel like
I
I'd
don't
like it
think
for
so.
Gambit maybe.
That Beastmaster could be okay for them.
Give me that fat, juicy Underlord here.
Hey.
But then they just have so little playmaking.
Yeah.
They just have to sit back and defend their buildings, which I don't even know if they're going to do because Gambit can come past the tower, like wrap around with birds or Earth Spirit rolling in. I really think they need like a stun that can run around.
This is tough. Really tough situation for Fnatic.
Bit of Malice is budget stun.
Budget stun.
There you go.
When you don't have enough money for a real stun.
Darkseer? Is that
Nah,
even,
no.
there's no
Please,
follow-up
God, please,
anymore.
no.
No. 100% no. I'm going to suggest Slardar again because he's on the brain. I don't think it's actually that good, and there must be a reason that hero's not seeing a lot of play, but...
Dire team pick.
Oh, no.
God.
His win rate's so bad.
Sven won like 1 or 2 games out of 12 in this tournament.
If there was a hero that was good against this draft, though, Warcry helps.
Some of them were position 5 games, though. But yeah, the aura carrying aspect is nice. They really
10
want
seconds remaining.
Vlad's and Crimson Guard against what Gambit have.
5 seconds remaining.
It looks okay, but the hero has been nerfed quite a bit. Though I think some of that win rate stuff is to do with people first picking the Sven and then putting it position 5. And I don't think that was a good look at all. I think position 3 is still playable. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. Most of the time when Sven is looking bad, it's mostly on position 5, and he's been playing the position 3. It looks different. He builds into this team fighting items, benefits the team, but he's been nerfed.
He has. He's been nerfed a lot.
So we've got, as those other offlaners, an Underlord, Tidehunter has been picked a fair amount in this tournament.
Even just like the ultimate, the God Strength cooldown hurts you when... Because a lot of the time as Sven, you just randomly pop your ult and you go hit some creeps or something, right? You go clear a wave,
There's
or you
my
farm
boy.
some Ancients.
Afterlife Underlord.
Okay.
Budget stun.
Budget stun. You can't handle the budget stun. I actually like it against Weaver. It's pretty cool.
It's a good hero, and it fits what they want to do. He's gonna. They might actually try lane with what was their hero?
Earth Spirit, Undying, and...
+1.
Visage.
Visage,
Visage.
yes, and have Underlord in 1 versus 1.
I had
scenario.
Underlord in my brain. I couldn't get him out. I was like, what other heroes do they have? You're the one who's got the working
Yeah, but it
computer.
takes time
Yeah.
to load. Because I was just watching at heroes. That's why I said Underlord. I
He's
just need to see
alt-tabbing.
the heroes, otherwise I can't
Messaging
predict.
Fnatic team to send them some swag. Yeah, of course. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the two lineups set up. The upper bracket matchup winner of this is going to move on to face, spoiler alert, Secret in the upper bracket finals. And we were talking about it all throughout the group stages that we felt like one of these two teams would be able to sort of contend with them. Mainly Fnatic was what we were mentioning. Gambit had their first crack at Secret earlier and weren't able to come up with a win. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see as we get ready to hop into this game. Underlord, though, it is a hero that we have not seen a ton of recently, but you say you still think it's a really strong hero.
Yeah, in a scenario like this, for sure. He builds into auras, maybe even allows Visage to get different items, even though he would love to get a pipe so he can get other items like a mech, a Crimson Guard, and suddenly you have these 3 team fighting items. You can get Vlad's as well on this hero, and Guardian Greaves on Shadowfin. That's how they play the game. Suddenly you have the best team fighting items in the game. You just push up as 5 and finish the game.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that that's going to happen, but that's
Right.
the plan.
I mean, that as soon as we saw the Visage, we knew that was what the plan
Yeah.
was going to be. And in the end, it looks like this is the response that Fnatic think they can run into. But we are ready to hop into the game now. Game number 3 of Fnatic facing off against Gambit. And the mass tips to start. You're not quite in the game yet, but Abed, he's getting the treatment. Why me? Love you. Oh, God. It's getting late, I think, for these players over in Poland, and, you know, they're having a little bit of fun. What about me? Jabs is feeling left out. Abed, he's got the love for him.
These guys have only played 4 games of Dota today.
Yeah.
They're pub fiends. I'm sure all of these guys play like 8 to 10 games a day when they're just grinding out pubs. So I don't think they're too worried about it being late or anything like that.
You know, they just get a little loopy. They're giving
That's
the
true.
mass
That's
tip.
true.
That's what's going on.
You gotta give as good as you get. You know, if they're mass tipping you gotta mass tip them.
This ward is kind of interesting for the Radiant in the
30
mid.
seconds
It doesn't
to
show
go.
vision of the rune, and it does barely show vision down below that tree. I don't know, I guess just it's not going to get dewarded most likely.
It's about not getting dewarded, and it's also about watching for the Earth Spirit coming from that angle,
Yeah.
because the Earth Spirit gank onto the Medusa with the Shadow Fiend having the right levels can actually be a kill. So they need to see him coming. But it also gives that little bit of high ground vision mid, so maybe they can get some Mystic Snake bounces or something.
3-4 Fnatic this time.
That's nice.
That's what you like to see if you're a Fnatic fan, and Afterlife getting the business from Mr. DJ.
I feel like the Undying should be bottom with the Underlord, not the Earth Spirit. The Earth Spirit doesn't want to stay and play down here, but if they leave the Underlord by himself, I think he's just going to die.
Well,
It's going to be 2 versus 2.
They send DJ up top now, so that maybe will make things a little bit easier for him. FNG now going to get punched. Stout Shield, 4 tangos for him.
It's not easy to hide as Underlord in the trees. Like, you're not small.
That's true.
It is funny, though, because I feel like people look at Underlord and...
Oh,
Bugs, level
Bugs
1.
level 1.
Plus the Frost Blast. This is
Let's
insane.
go.
This might be a kill,
If he has
actually.
another Frost Blast, he's dead.
Oh, God, need to walk away in first blood. John by Jabs.
This is underrated spell, level 1. I saw some players killing it when there's a 3 versus 3 scenario.
It feels like it's one of the few level 1 nukes left that has like less than a 10-second cooldown. Almost every stun and nuke at level 1 has gotten nerfed to the point where it's like you can't use it multiple times in a level 1 engagement. But
I mean, call me crazy. Couldn't he have just TP'd out?
He could.
that would hurt so much.
Yeah, you don't want to
TPing
TP
at
out
level 1?
to Fountain.
No,
No. Well, I mean, even he had the salve just back to the tower, maybe.
maybe.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Regardless,
under attack.
it is going to be a bit of a tougher lane for him now.
It doesn't matter that much because
Yeah.
he's not going to have a good time in this lane anyway. So
What is Earth-
if he TPs out
What's
to a
Earth Spirit
tower,
doing?
dies
Oh,
after.
this
All right,
creep wave there.
okay.
Immersion is taking some time for himself.
Okay, he dragged it all the way back between the tier 3 and tier 2. Sure.
So in the meantime, taking a look at the CS across the board, Medusa having a very good time against that Shadow Fiend. And some punches now given over to FNG, who is
like a
very
kill.
low, and it's looking like it could be another one. Although the walk away only hits one with that decay. It's gonna not quite take a tower shot, but walk back towards the secondary tower, pop the mango, Stormhammer connects, and finally Ice 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 will claim his kill.
I think that Undying loved that he died there. Instead of walking back home, then TPing, he's just gonna arrive at lane with full mana, full HP.
Lich.
FNG is getting spanked mid. Are you guys seeing this?
Yeah, man, it ain't good.
16-3 against the 9-2. I mean, Shadowfiend will catch back up, but still.
And Jabs, if he had stuck around a little bit longer, that courier's coming in. He is pretty fast. If he spots it now, but the Frost Blast
Snake doesn't connect.
not gonna do it. The Flying Courier upgrades and Frost Shield. Afro Ninja trying to walk away. A couple more punches, Fairy Fire, and just dead.
Dire's middle tower.
Not even needed to hit the Snake. This is a huge kill. Abed gets the last hit.
Meanwhile, the Shackles up in the top, able to find themselves immersion. A 3-0 start, and Fnatic off to the races. Granted, this is also a hallmark of the Gambit draft, as it looks like Afterlife is going to go down.
If you're not going to help the Underlord, you can't pick him like this. He's just going to get run down. They need to leave somebody down there to help him.
Kick back, Ice Ice Ice. Able to pop the stick charges, try and run away, but the Soul Assumption Decay finds the kill. At least they're finding something up there, but I just feel like it maybe is not enough to make up for that Underlord getting hurt.
It is kind of weird. Like, the Underlord, the Pit of Malice is nice against the Weaver later on, but in lane, he just gets run down by Weaver. He's slow, he's not actually that tanky early.
Mid lane again.
Oh, raises, finds that kill. Abed switching over the mana shield, needs to back out, has a mango as well as a salve. He might be able to bait Abed into a good position here, but no. It's just gonna be a kill for the Medusa.
This dude's getting big. Real big. It's very scary.
So 6-2, 1,000 gold lead as we get ready for the bounty runes. DJ trying to find himself this Undying. And it looks like it will eventually be an Undying kill as they chase him away. And they kill off the Underlord while giving him the tip as well. FNG pulling him all around the area. DJ finds this kill. I mean...
He hesitated for 0.1 second, then like, wait, I'm Shadow Shaman, I'm getting that kill.
But this does allow Gambit to get set up and take themselves a couple of the bounty runes. So something going their way at least. While Fnatic find the other two. DJ getting low on HP and no more mana for the Soul Assumption.
Oh, they're gonna Shrine and come back to a lane. Visage needs levels. He's level 3, 5 minutes in.
It feels like a real waste to have both of the supports at top for Gambit.
They're losing all lanes.
Yeah. This Underlord was their last pick, and it's getting trashed. Like, he's getting some farm, but he just keeps dying over and over, so he only just now gets boots.
Another stun. 8-2. I mean, again, the Gambit draft, when it comes online and they get their level 6s on Visage, it does start to group up as 5 and look better, but you can't be losing the lanes this badly, I feel like.
Yeah, they really need to get off to a better start, because their push is predicated on just walking up and hitting the building.
Right.
They don't have catch, because they picked Underlord last. So
Abed, more and more farmed.
Abed's just jungling. He even has Quelling Blade queued up. So he's gonna give lane to one of the supports to get levels, even though that's gonna be a free lane for Shadowfiend.
Looks like Afterlife is deciding to cut the creep wave now instead. Sitting between tier 1 and tier 2 while the roll forward comes. They connect on the Ice 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 and kicked with the Soul Rip to boot. Getting a little bit of comeback there.
he disappeared.
Radiant structures are
Afterlife is between tier 1 and tier 2 tower. They're using Glyph to try to save the creep wave.
Oh, he lost a couple of them there. And now they're TPing in a couple more. Underlord is gonna get the treatment yet again. The Sinister Gaze pulls him back in, and well, Afterlife eventually going to fall. See if he can get some damage out, but MP gets the kill.
MP's getting a ton of farm on this bottom lane. He's involved in 4 kills, has a free lane, Hand of Midas queued up.
Man, this is getting ugly. DJ trying to run away. Does look like he might escape though, the stick. And then the walk away. Immersion has another roll in 4, but he can't do it. Medusa's getting farmed. Your Weaver's getting farmed. DJ's almost ahead of the freaking SF.
I think it's a total red herring for Immersion to keep spending time top.
And they're bringing back the Lich towards the top lane. Ice body blocking, trying to find himself FNG. Shackles are there again. Fnatic, it's just been a feeding frenzy up here.
Oh.
Gambit.
Ice step
down.
aside to dodge DK. They have a catapult.
Dire's top
They
tower
know.
is under attack.
They know someone's out there.
Dude, what in the hell is happening with Gambit? 10-3, 3,000 gold lead in Immersion. I mean, he can't do anything. He just AFK in the trees.
They won the flip, took second pick, and then did nothing with last pick. And they're losing the lanes, spending way too much time around the Visage, stealing his experience. Like, I really don't think Immersion should be playing up here so much. But for whatever reason, he's been up here for like the last 6 to 7 minutes. He was bottom for 2 seconds, saw that the Underlord was just dying, and then came top instead. And they've just been trading back and forth up here, but I think the trades haven't even been helping the Visage.
This is one of the worst feelings in Dota. You have your Hand of Midas recipe ready, someone's using the courier.
Roll forward, seeing if they can find a return kill here onto DJ. It would be nice. The Soul Rip has done oh so much. Ice, walking in a position. They do find that kill with the Soul Assumption. If nothing else, Immersion has been able to secure a couple of those kills onto Ice.
They need level 6 on Visage.
Yeah.
Those birds are gonna help them a lot, either to keep them alive or to play aggressive. And Abed is a monster right now. He's been farming both jungle and the lane.
Kick back. Ice has the stun still. Soul Rip, Soul Assumption, and Soul taken.
Except that Dusa and the Weaver are completely unaddressed, and they don't even have the tools to address them. Like, how do they kill these heroes?
Yeah, they have no mana burn at all. No one can build into the Fusel Blade.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Let's get MP there. Bounty rune trade 2, or rather 3 for 1. And now Dahak has his birds. He's a level 6 Visage. What can they do with this?
Nothing. They don't have any way to start a fight. I don't think they can push into Fnatic either. They've also got pretty good deep push. Just park the Medusa in front of a tower, and I don't know what Gambit do.
They have Medallion coming out right now on the Visage. They have Vision right there of
Yeah,
DJ.
that's not how you use a courier.
A little bit suspicious, but
And Jab's just stalking Ninja here in the jungle. We'll have that level 6. Gives him the punch and walk away. All right, his invis was wearing off anyways. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, he's gonna TP out of there. FNG gives him a high 5. Now they're gonna back out yet again. So catch-up time for Ninja, it looks like. But you still have this looming threat of a Medusa that is crazy farmed, has Yasha already building towards the Manta style. Itemization for this Dusa, like you know that the push is gonna come from Gambit eventually. How do you deal with it?
She's fine. She's the most farmed hero on the map.
I mean, itemization I'm talking about. Like,
I
what
think
do you want?
she can just build super standard stuff.
Okay.
Like Manta, Scotty, Butterfly.
Yeah, that's exactly the build. She doesn't need to go for anything
She doesn't need
fancy.
BKB.
The Lincoln's BKB is not needed in this kind of a game.
Radiant's bottom
Well,
tower
MP.
is under attack.
Ready to dive underneath the tower here. They used to Chain Frost even. And get a little bit lucky with the bounce, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to find that kill on the Underlord.
They're keeping up. 2,000 net worth lead, 3 right now, which means 2. Easy math. This Sven was having a good time at the start, not anymore. He's only level 6 on the bottom part of the net worth.
Roll in, trying to keep this buddy alive. Soul Rip, it's not going to be enough. MP finds that kill. And then the time lapse to walk away afterwards. The Magnetize not doing enough, so losing that Shadow Fiend. These early stages, and maybe going to lose Immersion as well. Able to block the roll, and maybe they can find the kick away. In a little bit of space there. FNG is nearby to help out his buddy. But they have bugs on both of them, and looks like MP is going to have to back off.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
What do they do on Gambit, though? They need these early aura items like the mech and the Crimson Guard and stuff to be able to take towers, but they need the tower gold to get those items. So they're just kind of stuck in this loop while Dusa is out farming everybody.
But the good thing is they did not lose a single tier 1 tower. They're doing a good job defending it.
That's true.
And they're getting
But
levels.
Are Fnatic really trying to take their tier 1s?
No, I don't
they
think...
just used Mass Serpent Wards to kill Shadow Fiend instead of pushing a building. Because Fnatic don't have to push buildings, right? If this goes late, they win. Yeah. So they can just keep killing them and stalling. They don't have to stick their necks out to do anything stupid. I think if we just sit here with tier 1s up for 40 minutes, Fnatic win by default.
Well, this feels like it is one of the pivotal moments in this draft for Gambit. They need to find something with this smoke, and they don't want to break it on DJ. They would love to find the kill on the Medusa. This is really hard to get, but if they can get it, it would be so big. They're going to also go for the Underlord ulti in, but Abed just walks away. And, well, Chain Frost, they move into position. Pit of Malice down. This is not going to work out from Ninja. Drops the ultimate. Ice 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 has shown up as well. And maybe with the birds here, they can do something, but MP is also showing up. Starting to take down those birds one after the other. Shadow Fiend need to walk away, but the shackles from downtown, the Aether Lens picked up so early for the Shadow Shaman. They find the kill onto FNG as well, and Gambit has to just tuck their tail and run.
Fnatic read them so well what they're gonna do. They were already prepared with the bait on Medusa, and they don't have that much burst damage to bring Medusa down like that.
Oh my god, the damage coming out though. Reapplication to Magnetize, it's still not looking like it's quite gonna be enough though, and they have the wards down instead onto Afterlife, and that stops the pressure. It was almost good, but not quite there.
A little bit stupid to try and hit that tier 1 tower, I think, but they don't get punished for it too badly. They were a little bit low on mana on the Dusa, and we're missing a couple of spells. But still, looking quite good.
And they still don't have any team fighting items on Gambit, and they are taking fights, but they're building them slowly. Shadow Fiend getting really close to that mech. Underlord just finished his Vanguard.
And Visage also completing the Helm of the Dominator with the Medallion also. So this feels like it has to be one of those pushes that Gambit gets once you have all of those teamfight items. Is that at all concerning for Fnatic at this point in the game?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
What, the pushing items from Gambit?
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower.
It's a little bit scary. Gambit, once they get the ball rolling, they're gonna like start picking up some gold fairly quickly. But
yeah. If Gambit could get a pick off with all their auras, Underlord gets the damage. They could take just one good team fight and get 2 sides.
Glyph used, and that is going to keep some of those creeps alive. Well, Gambit do push forward, and this is what we always knew could come from Gambit. It's just that it's a little bit slower than they probably would have wanted, and they gave up a lot of kills, and this Medusa is very farmed. But we'll have to see what they can get as they start to secure some of these objectives around the map.
yeah, and Fnatic have carved out a nice little space for the Dusa or the Weaver to just keep on pushing, or even the Sven up here on the top side of the map. So Gambit did not have the luxury of taking all the tier 1s without losing any tier 1s themselves.
Weaver farming up in their jungle as well. I think he just let the bug do what he's gonna do.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Although, if they could actually catch him, the Pit of Malice down, never mind, they find that kill onto MP, and that's a good injection of gold. Suddenly, you look at this Shadow Fiend, and he's almost got Guardian Greaves.
I don't think Fnatic should fight this.
This is really scary, but they've already shown up, and the silence is there. Onto Ice, Ice, Ice. Abed is in the middle of all of them as well. FNG, does he get anything else out? He's hexed, but there's the mechanism keeping him alive for the moment. Does not get the soul rip off, but Abed still being chased down. They have the wards to try and interrupt. Can they get the stun? Can they get the kill? The kickback, and they find the Medusa. That's 3 dead for Fnatic for just the Undying. Shackling the birds. The Dahak is there, and they're going to try and take down this tier 1 tower while simultaneously finishing off the rest of these wards.
Yeah, these items are gonna start piling up on Gambit. That's full Guardian Greaves finished on Shadowfiend. Visage, I think he has Vlad's. That's a full Vlad's on him. Crimson Guard, they just need a pipe right now.
I don't think Fnatic should take another fight until Weaver has his 15+ Diffusal Blade. Such a huge upgrade damage-wise for him. And he's not even that far away from it. Defending that mid-tier 1 tower was really strange.
But if Gambit moves as a unit, I don't think they can lose this game. Like, Weaver is not gonna threaten anything. She can't go in, cut into the backline against these heroes.
I mean, it is that 1,000 gold lead, but yeah, and you look at it, it's that Hand of Midas taken early, which we've seen so often. Is this the answer to the woes of Midas's everywhere? Just group up together with all these big teamfight items and push?
Dire are scanning.
Have to see.
Yeah.
You only
Could be.
need one more item. That's pipe, and the Underlord is building it. They're gonna have full team fighting item. Look at this. Yeah, I don't know, man.
MP, he's caught again. They get the silence off, and the birds are on him. No defense for this one for the Weaver. And that's the thing, like, if you're taking all these towers, but your cores are still farming, you can hold high ground as Fnatic. But if you start losing a couple of heroes, it gets a little bit scarier. That Tombstone won't find anything as Ice Ice backs away wisely.
If they can get another pick off, it's gonna be so easy for them to grab a Rosh, and that's where they're gonna threaten the high ground. Not an easy task against Lich armor, against bugs, Medusa sitting, defending those tier 3s.
Presence Aura affects buildings for the Shadow Fiend. The level 15 talent up and online. But it does feel like they've sort of slowed down a little bit, just waiting until they get that next round of items. You can see the odds very even at this point. It is a blink done for DJ. And we've seen time and again this player just get out of control. He actually sold it and has decided not to buy it. Okay.
They want to kill MP again.
Wonder if he's gonna go straight Ags or something. Force Staff maybe?
There's a lot of Radiant heroes here.
Danger Town. They found themselves this Visage out of position. The Birds trying to keep him alive by getting the stuns out on others, but this is not gonna work, and Fnatic will gladly take that kill given over to them.
So does Gambit's lineup just, do they cap once they've got all of their auras and stuff? Like once they have every sort of team fight AoE item, the pipe, the Greaves, the Crimson Guard, that's kind of where their lineup starts to hit a wall, right?
Not necessarily. Like Shadowfiend
still scales
is
a
gonna
little
scale. You're gonna have Underlord
Yeah.
in the middle of a fight with his aura.
We'll have to see. I mean, it's still sort of, I think, a lot dependent upon what type of fights each of these teams take. And if you get caught out of position like this, although it is still an Underlord, and he gets the Crimson Guard off before they get the Fear out, and the rest of Gambit showing up, he's still caught in these wards for the moment. Can they get any types of heals towards him? It doesn't look like it's happened. They break the TP of the Medusa, and Abed under control. It wasn't a TP, it was just the ulti coming out, actually, and Abed will eventually fall there. So they lose the Underlord for the Medusa. You take that trade every day of the week, and with this bird chasing,
It's Rosh
there's
time.
ice.
They should not waste any time. Just go straight into Rosh pit.
Is under attack.
All right. This is a huge timing for Gambit as FNG is just going to walk up the hill and make sure nobody's moving over into this position.
The Deuce is really not looking tanky against all these auras and stuff. When you've got the Medallion, they've got the Alpha Wolf buffing up the damage, the Vlad's buffing up the damage. Gambit are hitting really hard.
Roll forward, trying to find MP. And it is going to be Aegis onto Alpha Ninja.
Dire's top tower is under
Pressure is going to come. And Fnatic, they have done a good job of protecting the other outer towers. Tier 1 still standing in the top lane.
And this is the build that the Hawk always goes for. Just a casual Vanguard on him, and then gets a BKB. So he can stand in the middle of a fight and use those soul assumption as much as possible. This is huge damage dealing spell. You just need to stay alive and have enough mana.
Do you think the Vanguard's good even with the Underlord having a Crimson already? Like, could he have just gone for another HP item?
Like what?
Radiant structures are
I guess he
fortified.
could got more armor, maybe Shiva's. Could have gone for... He could just have the VIP boost. Like,
I'm not gonna question his item build. This
Fair enough.
casual Vanguard seems fine, and the way
This
they're
Weaver's
playing
out of
to
mana.
close out this game.
Weaver's out of mana. This Weaver's going down. This Weaver's dead.
oh no.
Man,
MP.
MP got caught so many times this game.
Can't happen. And this tier 1 tower is just butter. As Gambit are going to walk forward in immersion, giving him the tip. The Shadow Fiend giving him the tip.
It's like only the Earth Spirit that can set up these kills on MP, but he's just getting caught by it every time.
And this push is not going to stop. Gambit,
No.
they have the Aegis. They've got everything. They're ready to go.
Yeah, Pipe is flying out.
How do you stop this pressure? They stun the illusion. That's not going to do enough. Mystic Snake goes out as well. This tier 3 tower is crumbling. They do have the Weaver back up in 15 seconds, and Gambit, after forcing Fnatic back to their base, are going to back up.
It's hard to break a high ground against Lich Armor, Medusa sitting there. You have Shadow Shaman with Ether Shock from downtown. Weaver is gonna use bugs soon. Crimson Guard to be completed on Svent above the buildings as well.
I mean, just look at all of these auras and the fake back coming from Gambit as they get ready to push in towards this mid lane yet again. I mean, this was never hidden from Fnatic. They knew what was coming as soon as that Visage pick came. Pipe, Crimson,
Radiant's middle tower
Helm of the
is under
Dominator.
attack.
All the auras in the world, and Gambit taking another tier 2 tower. It's still only 1,000 gold lead,
Radiant's
but
middle
it does
tower
have that
has
sense
fallen.
of potentially being ready to just end this game.
Yeah.
The ward trap onto immersion. We'll find him with the shackles afterwards, so it looks like one life will be given up. Or he rolls away. Good blink forward there by DJ. Tries to get the kick away, but it's not going to happen.
Man, DJ's sick.
Waiting to see the roll angle before he
Yeah.
uses the blink. Yeah, that was really nice.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's
I'm not even impressed. Like you expect those kinds of things
Yeah,
from DJ.
yeah.
Right? That's what he does.
Okay, the Weaver almost has BKB. That's going to be a very significant item.
Because a lot of the way that they've been able to kill him has been by virtue of the silence afterwards.
He's done no damage in any of these last couple of fights.
Yeah.
So if he has the BKB, he can ignore the pit, he can ignore the silence.
But likewise, look at Shadow Fiend just up in their face. Still a minute and a half left on this Aegis. They used up the glyph earlier, have no way to protect it outside of the Frost Shield, and that's not enough. MP, can he
Why
do
is
anything
Dusa
here
not
at all?
here?
The minus armor trying
Where's
to
the
work.
Dusa?
Dusa not
She's
coming
peeking
back.
right now.
It does look like she's finally going to be here as well. What can they do? That BKB is available for MP.
Dire's bottom tower
They're fine with this.
Yeah.
No casualties. Underlord didn't even bother popping Pipe.
under attack.
I mean, they've got the Scotty done for Dusa, so some amount of damage. But really, it's the building damage that's coming out on Gambit. They're just taking those objectives.
Does Sven have his Crimson finished? It's pretty big.
Not yet.
Not quite. That's a pretty big item for Fnatic.
Oh. Also pretty big is just losing jabs there. He's their Frost Shielder. Meanwhile, Afterlife Might get jumped on here by DJ. Could not get his ulti off.
He's not gonna have mana to TP out or do anything.
He does have stick charges afterwards. We'll see if that's enough to keep him alive. Could think about doing it, but no mana. Couldn't get his ulti off. Cost 200 there, so it will be Afterlife. Eventually dying, maybe not. They show up in numbers. Wards are dropped, but DJ gonna be chased down by Afo Ninja, and they chase, roll, finds the catch, gets the kill, and just gonna farm these ones up. Fine and dandy.
Aegis expired. They're gonna take both shrines. They can also chip the damage on tier 3s. But lanes need to be in a good position.
So we talked about that second Aegis with the cheese often being the time that Gambit just want to end the game. Do you think that Fnatic are getting into the items they need to defend this push?
Medusa still doesn't deal that much of a damage.
Yeah.
Neither does Weaver, especially if there's a trophy aura anywhere near them. And I love to build an Underlord.
Uh-oh.
Heaven's Halberd against Medusa. It's gonna be so effective. If you can just use it on her while you're trying to siege for a couple of seconds, it's so effective.
I don't even know if this butterfly is the item for Abed. It's not going to give him as much damage as you might expect against the Atrophy Aura. We might be getting to the point of the game where Fnatic needs to just like, I don't know. It might even be to the point where you want just like Ags on the Weaver and a Rapier on the Medusa. Well, and then that's like the strat.
They're getting the Ags on the Sven at the very least, so that's where the butterfly can get you some added value potentially. But yeah, I know what you mean. It
takes time to build those items.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't have
Soon
that.
to be 30-minute mark talking about Gambit.
30-minute mark, end the game. MP trying to split push to the best of his abilities. Rosh capable of respawning in just over a minute. Still just a 2,000 gold lead as they're keeping it very, very close, but all these things built together. Stormhammer dispels enemies? How valuable?
What's it up against?
I mean,
On Sven?
Crimson, yeah. There's a pipe there.
Movement speed.
30 movement speed. No. I guess. What is he even going to dispel?
I don't know. Visage's Grave Chill.
I guess some of the buffs is like the
No,
pipe.
it's
none of that's
non-dispellable.
purgeable? Okay.
Well, regardless, 30-minute mark, set up to try and steal away some of these bounty runes. Fnatic is making a run down towards the bottom set. And looks like Visage could get caught out of position. He is completely surrounded right now.
Underlord is TPing. 4 of them.
The bait, the bait, the bait. They find themselves the Medusa. The bait is real. They run 4 jabs trying to get in position to save his buddy. DJ is shackling on the other side of it, but they're able to block it with immersion. He's done so much for his team. And Abed low, Abed dead, and Fnatic left to cry. The bait was beautiful. And Fnatic.
Man, he ran in with the Centaur and stunned Medusa while they were charging Underlord's ulti. 5 stars Overlord for sure.
That was unreal. 30-minute mark. Gambit ready to march towards high ground and 3 buybacks. They need to stop this push. And I don't know if it's going to quite be enough as they walk forward for this one. You do force out the glyph. 2 birds gonna drop to keep them alive. Hex out onto this Undying.
They want to save those birds.
No tombstone for 20 seconds. Ice, 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 chasing. Wanting to find a fight here. Is this really where you want to go? Pops the Manta, walks away, immersion in, gets the stun onto 2. DJ trying to walk away so he doesn't drop to this one. And meanwhile, they have the ulti out from this Medusa. Lane into Gambit. Afo Ninja just walking away as well. All of these auras, nobody is really dying yet, but they might be able to if it's long enough. The tombstone down. Dahak does look like he is finally going to drop, and Gambit, maybe they've gone a bit too far with this one. Gonna TP away with Afo Ninja, and looks like he will get out. Meanwhile, Afterlife does not have the mana to escape right now. Stick charges and a TP is there, but everybody in position to break it afterwards.
That's a buyback from Medusa though. Rosh is gonna spawn in a second, so this is where Fnatic needs to go.
Abed had such an incredible start to this game, and then I don't know, that one death when they tried to defend the tier 1 tower mid, and now this this buyback. Shadow Fiend's overtaken him in terms of net worth. And there was a point in this game where Abed was like 8k to the Shadow Fiend's, what, 5.5 or something?
Yeah. Sven is getting closer to this Aghanim Scepter, and that is the point where Abed is going to get a huge injection of damage. But we do also have Rosh back up again. Can they actually fight against Gambit just walking into the pit? They're going to have Stone Gaze back up again.
Their bottom lane is pushed, but Visage is using birds to out-push it, but also they're gonna need the birds for Rosh fight. Not fast enough to take the Rosh, even though they managed to grab 2 kills, 3 kills actually.
We're getting closer and closer.
Fnatic again using that courier.
Oh, this thing, if anybody missed it, is the most frustrating spot. You can't spot it here. And it was able to give him so much vision in the game number 1.
Isn't there a strat with Visage as well where you can put the birds up there? And
I think they fixed that.
Did that get fixed? Okay.
Did it, Gabe?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I mean, if you can put the courier there, I'd assume you could put the birds there.
Yeah.
But it's about whether or not the birds can attack Roshan while
Rosh is not doing it. I think it got fixed.
I think that might have been patched, yeah. They could, if they knew about this, then they would just send the birds to kill the courier. But
And they probably will eventually, but those birds do have such a low vision radius that they might just hit Rosh and not even realize it. It's one of those things where coach probably would have told them in between games, hey, that's what happened before. And the Hawk, bird's in there. They're gonna spot this. This is not a surprise from Fnatic. They know what's happening. The courier is there, full vision. Is this the dream fight that Fnatic needed? They're walking in with Ice Ice Ice. They have the stun onto FNG. The silence out as well onto MP. Pops the BKB, able to find him. Ward trapping in his own Weaver though, but able to Sakuchi out afterwards. And the full combo comes out, kills off the Lich, but the Stone Gaze as Abed walks in the middle of all of them, trying to take all of these heroes down. Can they get it? A stun still onto 2. They back out. Immersion gonna be caught there in the shackles. These birds still doing a good bit of damage, but it's not looking like it's quite gonna be enough. They do have control over Abed here. The Hex, can they find this kill on Immersion? He's done so much in this fight on this Earth Spirit. Abed walking away now afterwards, and MP's got eyes on that. He's gonna be able to take him down. Buyback coming from the Shadow Fiend. They don't have a buyback on that Lich, but they time lapse and walk away afterwards. Gambit, this fight gets a little bit scary. They're fighting around these wards. It's done so much damage, but they find him. They get the kill. That's MP dead. No buyback for 90 seconds.
Oh man, MP dealt so much damage in that team fight.
Look at the Dusa. She's attacking the entire time, but between the Atrophy Aura and the Requiem, she actually just doesn't do anything. She doesn't do any damage. And you add the Crimson Guard on top of that, they've completely neutralized the Medusa with the heroes.
They took out
and base you look at this right here as well.
Yeah, the glyph.
Immediately they head in. DJ can't take care of it, and he is going to hit the deck. Immersion is feeling himself.
He has no buyback for 3 minutes.
Both of these heroes are gone. Both the Weaver and the Shadow Shaman, and Gambit looking like they might have set themselves up for victory here. The very least, Mega Creeps. Ice still 1,000 gold away from the Ags. It's not happening. And Gambit just gonna take this one down. They need to wait it out.
They don't have to
I'll
leave.
say hello to Mega Creeps.
Yeah, they can just stay right here.
And in the meantime, Fnatic can only look on. Weaver gets his buyback up again now. Still 15 seconds. I mean, you don't want to give up at this stage, certainly for Fnatic, but Gambit have just won a huge victory in that Rosh pit fight.
Now, all they need is a pick-off, and it feels like they can finish the game. I don't think they want to drag this game way too much, even though Medusa doesn't deal that much damage. She's level 23, getting closer to level 25 talent, considering that there are Mega creeps, she should get split shot, uses modifiers, and if she builds towards Mjolnir, so she can clear the wave fast enough, but it's not looking good, even though it's only 7k gold lead for Gambit.
I mean, this is one of the things that Fnatic's lineup will do, though, like you said, is hold against Mega creeps. And
The Deuce is still not doing any damage, though, until she gets the Mjolnir plus talent combo.
How do you feel about this Sven Ags buff? Like, how much does that matter? I haven't seen it with the Medusa all that often.
He can sell
It's hard to say.
Magic Wand 250, Crown 400, 500. He still does not have enough.
Well, they're gonna keep on taking it. Sakuchi movement speed, as Weaver did get level 25, has that XPM talent. And in the meantime, Gambit can just keep farming up as a team. The AC done. Visage apparently gonna buy a bottle. Makes sense. Get that DD rune online. And he's gonna leave it for his core. What a guy.
All right.
I like it. It's going to be a completed butterfly for F1 Ninja if they want as well.
Yeah, he's going all in. He does not have a buyback, has Aegis. It's time to close this game. Fnatic just sending some pigs in their own base, having a lot of fun.
Time to shine. The Sven just 500 gold away from an Aghanim Scepter, but it doesn't look like it's going to get there quite in time as Gambit want to close this one out. Still 2 minutes left on this Aegis, and I don't know if they're even going to have that. They kick the Sven back in, and he is going to die. Has buyback here, but if you use it, all hopes that Ags are completely gone. MP walks into the middle of him, trying to take him down. Chain Frost out as well. Able to bounce back around the other direction. Sven walking into the middle of all of this. Abed going to be controlled. They throw out the Warcry, trying to keep him alive. The Fear pulling back in immersion. Still, though, the Hex is also following that one up. They might be able to find that kill on to the Earth Spirit, but the Medusa goes down, forces out the buyback afterwards. Still, Gambit able to whack up if they want to. Ninja stacking up the raises as well, starting to get those right clicks out. They draining through the mana of Dahak. This Visage is starting to fall down low, and they do use the Stone Gaze now, trying to slow these heroes down. F1 Ninja gonna pop the ultimate. The turnaround is gonna be there. Magnetize only onto one. They fear, they pull back in onto one there, onto Jabs. Underneath the tower, they get that bonus armor as well. Fnatic just trying to hold out against the pressure. That F1 Ninja's coming in, dodges away from that Manta. The stun coming in on him. And MP trying to find a backline immersion, burning the mana, but GG is called. The Ancient goes down, and Gambit, our top four, a date with Destiny against Secret.
This is how Gambit rolls. Man, even though everything led to this moment that you know what Gambit is gonna pick, you still can't respond to this. And the way they played with it, it's so good. They lost all 3 lanes and still managed to come back.
Underlord got dumpstered.
Completely destroyed.
He died he died right at the very beginning. He died like 2 or 3 times after that. Jabs was ganking mid. The biggest thing for me is that the Medusa was just completely irrelevant. They picked it super early, and then the aura stack itemization plus the damage debuffs of the Atrophy Aura and the Requiem of Souls, they just ignored it. Dusa had like 20 plus K net worth, and he's sitting there auto-attacking like crazy, and it's doing nothing. That was crazy. The early Medusa pick, like, super farmed, but so little impact.
They know how to play against Medusa. That's their weapon.
Medusa. Yeah.
Well, very impressive showing from Gambit, who were able to take the series 2-1. As we mentioned in the cast, it is going to be against Secret that they face in the upper bracket finals. So that should be another good match. It's a rematch of the final game that we saw from them in their groups. Just quick thoughts from you guys, where you see both of these two teams going in the tournament. Do you think that we're going to see Fnatic still go far in spite of this loss here?
I think so. It's scary that Fnatic are in the lower bracket now for anybody else who's anyone else who's down there.
Yeah, they definitely look like a top 3 team. We kind of expected that Gambit and Secret are going to do good. There are some
in this
teams
tournament,
that can,
in this tournament, we should clarify
Yeah,
that.
Top 2 team at this tournament.
Yeah. Well, very impressive showing, and oh my goodness gracious, that is going to do it for our day number 3. We are going to say adieu to you on the B stream here. Baseskip, Lacoste, Lyrical, your casters. Shout out to the production in the back, taking care of us throughout all the days, but we are going to end it now. Oh yeah,
shout out to Scriff. Yeah, don't forget Scriff.
What a guy.
We always forget him when we're ordering food for him, but when there are shout outs, never forget Scriff.
Any other shout outs you guys want to give? We got a moment here.
Shout out to all my... Just kidding. No, that's it.
You want
Thank
that,
you guys for watching.
Scrap.
It was a pleasure. As always, we had some fun. We watched some world-class Dota, and you're going to see more of us soon.
All right, take it easy, everybody. See you guys next time.